absolutely, this is not the place for that. My service was the most pure and authentic piece of my life that I want to commemorate. I don't want to be individualised. That's our culture, and I get that that is difficult to understand outside. But we're having conversations in Australia about different cultures and where they collide. Listen to the veterans, listen to those who have served, understand there is still going to be fractured and segmented conversations in between. But when all else fails, what is the purpose of this place? Commemorating service and sacrifice, not sexuality, not religion. In the military, mate, we have this rule when you're at formal occasions, and even in the lines, you don't discuss 3 topics: sex, religion and politics, because they tend to sow the seeds of anger, discontent, resentment, arguments and that within the workplace. And our job is so focused on what we need to do, which at the end of the day could be risking life or limb. So that is literally a rule. And then all of a sudden on the outside, we're discussing and signalling sex, religion or politics. That's not what we do. I served in the Army 16 years, 9 of those in Special Forces, and retired a few years ago at the rank of Major. And during that time I deployed to Afghanistan, Iraq, East Timor, served a couple of years in the US. And it was the best time of my life, mate, to be honest.
And sorry, but I'm going to get personal.
Yeah,
You're also...
Yeah, I'm gay. I first accepted my own sexuality war 2015, actually, when I was posted over the US. And it was a very unique time because I fully appreciate where that self-doubt and identity crisis comes from, not accepting yourself. I'd never been around anyone sort of like me that was gay, but didn't really use it as entitlement, essentially. And particularly the culture and community of the military, and then particularly the culture and community of the Special Forces. I was in the Commandos. When you're awarded your Commando beret, it comes with this statement: a daily renewable contract. You're assessed each day on your actions and your attitudes, on your competence and on your character. And I've deployed to combat. I've seen the true purity and authenticity that can come from people united with purpose, being so accountable. Bullets and bombs don't discriminate, people do. And during that time, 2015, when I was in the US, the gay marriage debate was happening here in Australia. And then I moved back in 2016, and then obviously the vote went through. And I found our country become a place where we were seeking that labelling of people through a diversity which I didn't choose. And trust me, mate, I tried to change everything about me because I didn't think it conformed to this image that I was meant to be as a Special Forces commander and all that. And then I saw the Defence Force trying to essentially capture that diversity, which I didn't earn, which didn't help me to perform better than my peers or do my job better, and to potentially look at that and seek progression because of that. So I decided to keep myself in the closet. And since I never came out, I just started living my life, and I aspire for a world when we no longer feel we have to come out. You just are what you are. Nearly all of my guys who I was responsible for, worked with, have come to me and said, why the hell didn't you tell us? And my response is because I never wanted it to be a factor. I didn't ask them about their sexual life, didn't ask them about their religion, I didn't ask them about their ethnicity. We all wore the uniform, we all served, and the true nature of service and the true purpose of service is putting the mission and the team before yourself.
So let's be clear, I'm not asking it because I generally don't start interviews with what's your sexuality. The reason why, I know. In the context of this interview, is because what recently took place here at the shrine behind us. Yeah. So with all of that, what's your reaction?
So I spoke out publicly on my own social media about that because that action goes against our culture. That action is external society trying to project what they believe needs to occur for virtual signalling purposes, as opposed to truly understanding what is the culture of the veteran community. I also understand the other side of the argument where there are LGBTIQA+ members, current and former defence members, who have experienced trauma of their own. And I've been so active the last couple of years campaigning for the Royal Commission into Defence and Veteran Suicide, where we first met here. So I now appreciate that some of these conversations carry trauma for people. And the whole part is for us to grab that and turn it into responsible action, not entitled action. And when the Shrine of Remembrance here, whose purpose is to commemorate the service and sacrifice of all veterans, not to promote or highlight or put up in colours individuality that was not earned, individuality that segments elements of our culture and community that goes against that purpose of service and the team before yourself. And it's actually actions like that that, as I just explained to you beforehand, made me want to hide my sexuality in service as opposed to be open and about with it, because I wanted to be assessed on my actions, my performance, my competence and my character, not on something that I was born with and didn't earn.
So on that day that we came here to do the report, there was still the pride or gay flag right behind you.
Yeah.
I noticed today they've changed the flag back to I don't know from here what that is, but
That's the Vietnam Veterans Association flag, because that's what this shrine is for, commemorating service and sacrifice. And today is the 60th anniversary of Vietnam Veterans Day. And that's a demographic of people that I have so much respect for. They went away, some of them including national servicemen who didn't volunteer, and they fought real jungle combat, mate. Combat that scares me. Afghanistan, I had technology and everything else on my side and an incredible team. They were fighting in the jungles of, Vietnam, and then they came back to a country who rejected them. And so many of them went through trauma from combat and trauma from moral injury from being rejected by their country. And that's what this place is about, bringing people together to commemorate the purpose of that service, as a collective organisation, as opposed to individuals within that. We focus on the actions of those who went away and led by example.
So do you think flags like that, that pole should be reserved for flags such as that one rather than the gay flag?
It's just coming down to what the purpose of this place is. This purpose is not to commemorate individuality of individual members. The only time you were commemorated or individualised in service is if you won an award, or we went and received it from the Governor or the Governor General, or you died. And that is our culture. And for me, when people like the CEO and the team who have never served themselves might be trying to do, what they think is a good thing to cling on to and encourage society to, help and accept that diversity piece, you're actually completely missing the fact. And my issue with whatever flag is flown up here is you have to engage with the veteran community and have those discussions. This shrine of remembrance is for commemorating that service and sacrifice. As you know, Victorian RSL, the majority of the veteran community, I don't know if any were, consulted before they put that flag up. And the outrage came from the veteran community. Later I'll show you on my phone so I don't go down the CEO of the shrine route, but I have lesbian female veterans who've reached out to me saying, absolutely, this is not the place for that. My service was the most pure and authentic piece of my life that I want to commemorate. I don't want to be individualised. That's our culture, and I get that that is difficult to understand outside. But we're having conversations in Australia about different cultures and where they collide. Listen to the veterans, listen to those who have served, understand there is still going to be fractured and segmented conversations in between. But when all else fails, what is the purpose of this place? Commemorating service and sacrifice, not sexuality, not religion. In the military, mate, we have this rule when you're at formal occasions, and even in the lines, you don't discuss 3 topics: sex, religion and politics, because they tend to sow the seeds of anger, discontent, resentment, arguments and that within the workplace. And our job is so focused on what we need to do, which at the end of the day could be risking life or limb. So that is literally a rule. And then all of a sudden on the outside, we're discussing and signalling sex, religion or politics. That's not what we do.
Well, thank you for your time and thank you for your service once again.
My pleasure, mate. Thanks for bringing a voice to these conversations. And look, I know they're polarising, and people won't agree with me, but we need to have these conversations and not just take direct actions that otherwise invoke emotions. If we had had a robust consultation process, this would have saved all of this from tarring what should be the true purpose of this place.
Can you become CEO of this place?
I live in Queensland.
Do you know what?
It is a beautiful shrine. I tell you what, I walked through it last time I was down here. This place doesn't get enough publicity. People need to come here and actually walk through it and have a look at it. Yeah. And having a display inside, sure, go nuts, but externally, this is our place to commemorate those who have served and are no longer here.
Make sure to head over to followavi.com, subscribe to our mailing list, and follow me across socials. So in case they ban us from the platform you're watching this on right now, you can still get the other side of the story in Melbourne, Australia. Followavi.com now.